Hi there, it's Dr. OnionTree here again, and in one of my previous videos I explained that I planned to take a vacation, and so I went ahead and took the plunge. I bought a ticket to go to Hawaii. I packed my bags. I always travel with 3 suitcases, one with clothes, one with Imodium, and one with Metamucil. I'm also always travel ready. I take this vaccine every 3 days to protect against, let me just get this right here, enterotoxigenic E. coli. So I'm always travel ready. Well, anyway, the night before I was supposed to fly to Hawaii, I did something, and in hindsight, I realized I shouldn't have done. I watched 8 hours of YouTube videos on jet plane crashes, and the one that really upset me the most was when this jet crashed while the pilot was knitting a sweater. Anyway, that morning when I went to the airport, I was a little bit nervous, and what I didn't realize was the airline I had booked a ticket with did not have a good reputation for customer service. So I went to the luggage check-in, and I checked my luggage in, and I was told the flight was delayed 3 hours. So I decided to go to the washroom, and when I came back out of the washroom, I thought, well, I'll check and see if anything's changed with my flight. And they told me that while I was in the washroom, the flight had left. So anyway, I asked them, well, when is it leaving? And they said, we already told you, stupid, 3 hours from now. So anyway, I went through security, fine, no problem, and went to the gate, and I made a comment about the customer service, and one of the attendants there made some comment that I had a bad attitude. And all once he grabbed me by the collar and said, say it. I said, say what? Say I'm a spoiled brat. What? Say it. Okay, I'm a spoiled brat. There, that's better. Now go sit down and be quiet. And all I did, I was as I was told, and I didn't dare do anything or go to the bathroom or anything like that. Well, anyway, 4 hours later, we finally got on this jet, and as it was moving away from the bridge, the pilot came on the public address system and said that there was only one functioning washroom on the jet, and that was for staff only. Well, I also noticed there were a number of politicians on this jet as well. So we get on the runway and we start racing down for liftoff, and I lost it. I started screaming, the right engine is going to break off! The right engine is going to break off! Well, this flight attendant jumped on me and started slapping me. His name tag said Ivan, and he kept saying, you must breathe deep. You must breathe deep. Okay. Well, I finally settled down, but the flight was horrible. 3 times we came this close to hitting other jets. So 3/4 of the way over there, my anxiety level was just going through the roof. People were dancing in the aisles. The pilot comes on the public address system and asks if anybody knows if the airport we're flying to is open. Well, finally we began our descent, and I lost it again. I started screaming. There's a herd of goats on the runway. There's a herd of goats on the runway. Well, out of the corner of my eye, I saw Ivan running towards me. Okay. Anyway, we somehow landed safely. We didn't hit any of the goats. So we get to the airport, and we're put onto this bus and driven to a hotel and ushered into this banquet room. At the front of the banquet room is Ivan, and he's trying to sell tour packages. Well, I had just bought this Hawaiian shirt, and I really wanted to show it off. So Ivan would point at different tables and ask people to stand up to show their Hawaiian clothing. And every time I thought he was pointing at my table, I would jump up. And every time he would say, "Sit down, you fool." Well, finally, this whole presentation was finished, and we got to leave. And as we were leaving, I could hear people whispering and looking at me. Well, I wasn't fooled. I knew exactly what was going on. Yeah, people were looking at my Hawaiian shirt. Yeah. So anyway, I took a taxi to my hotel room, and I found out that it was near an extinct volcano. So I quickly went out and bought $500 worth of food, water, and medical supplies and put it in my hotel room. I don't trust extinct volcanoes. Hawaii was great, the wind, the sun, the warmth, and I did stay away from the water. Before I went on this trip, I did research on sharks, and I discovered that sharks do not like dandruff. There have been documented cases where a shark has attacked someone and then left the head and shoulders. Well, like all things, my time in Hawaii was coming to an end, and the dreaded day came where I had to go to the airport. And when I got there, I was pretty nervous about things, and I was walking through the terminal. I could hear people whispering, "PP, PP." So I finally went up to this guy wearing a kilt, and I asked him, "What's all this PP business?" And he said PP meant paranoid professor. And then he started doing this little dance and saying he really, really had to go. Well, I end up going to the baggage check-in, and when the lady there I was dealing with recognized who I was, she suddenly turned around and went around behind this corner. All the other baggage check-in people did the same thing. And I could hear all this whispering going on, and then it sounded like somebody was talking on the phone. Well, after about 10 minutes, they all came back to their stations, and the lady I was dealing with said to me, "Oh, by the way, the airline has decided to send you back on a cruise ship." Oh, I'm telling you, I was really, really relieved. Well, the cruise ship was, really good, big improvement over the jet. But the one day was really scary, though. We just missed this other ship by this much. It was really close. And like I said, things are going fine. And then one night, it happened. I still don't believe this happened. The cruise ship showed the movie Titanic. They showed the movie Titanic. I couldn't believe it. I was a nervous wreck the rest of the trip. I spent 20 hours a day on the deck watching for icebergs. Well, we finally arrived in port, and I was just so grateful. I decided right then and there I was just going to play it super safe and decided to hitchhike the rest of the way home. So finally, I'm going to leave, if there's any pilots out there, I'm going to leave you with this tip. Please don't knit and fly.